Hey, what's going on? I'd like to welcome you all to Water Your Soil. You see the title of this video. It's titled Help, My FICO Credit Score is Bad. So if you're someone, you relate to the title of this video because your FICO score is bad. Remember, there's a difference between your FICO score and your Credit Karma score. But if your FICO score is bad, you found the right video. I'm going to provide you with some information that can help you along the way. All right, so let's get into it. You know, it's kind of funny that we're even here talking about FICO scores because on social media today in 2022, when I'm surfing, you know, whether it's Instagram or just about any social media site, I always see credit repair companies and they always post the same similar photos. And they're going to be mad at me for saying this, but it is what it is. I like to keep things transparent and I like to be real. I always see the same photos, the same recycled photos that everyone likes to use. Oh, I increased my credit score 100 points. I helped someone increase their credit score 200 points. Hey, look, I helped this person go from a 523 to a 796 in the span of 3 months. I always see that. I'm gonna tell you right now, if the credit score that you post looks like this screenshot right here, over in this corner, that's my Credit Karma score, by the way. It's Credit Karma, it's Vantage 3.0 score. But if it looks like that, not in the numbers, I'm not referring to the numbers, I'm referring to the green and the whole layout. If it looks like that, we could just throw it away. And I know some people are gonna be offended. Well, you know, the Credit Karma score matters too. You know, what you mean? You work hard for a Credit Karma score. Listen, it's not a FICO score. And when it comes to the majority of these lenders, your FICO score is what counts and what matters. For mortgages and just about anything else, they're gonna pull your FICO score. Now, there are numerous amounts of FICO scores. It's not just one FICO score. There are a lot of FICO scores, you know, so there's one way to be on point no matter which FICO score is pulled in regards to you, and I'm going to talk about that in this video. By the way, don't use my screenshot of my Credit Karma score. That goes for all you credit repair companies that like to show people the same regurgitated and recycled scores. All right, you need my permission. But this video is going to be mainly about focusing on your FICO score because that's what's important. And you know, it's a lot of talk all the time about, you know, the different FICO scores that it is because it's so many. And I know some of you who are new to credit, you probably are wondering, like, how do you keep up with it? And my opinion is, it's not your responsibility to keep up with it. You have to focus on your own credit report and your own accounts. You have to focus on managing your accounts and your credit report the correct way. That way, you'll be able to have a good or excellent credit score no matter what FICO score it is. Because let's be honest, all of the FICO scores, they look at something different, but they're all similar. They're all going to pay attention to how well you are at managing your debt, quote unquote, the accounts that you have. So they're going to pay attention to how good you are at managing your accounts. So one of the first things, this video is titled Help, My FICO Credit Score is Bad. So I'm gonna give you a scenario, and some of you may fit this scenario and some of you may not. You may not relate to it. Let's start off with student loans, for example, because I know student loans is a big issue for a lot of people. Let's start off with student loans. And in the future, I'll do a full video on each one of these examples and categories that I'm gonna mention. But let's start off with student loans. Let's say you're going over your credit report. You're someone, you pay your credit card on time, your utilization is okay, and your biggest issue that's holding you back with your credit score are student loans, the student loans that you have. So a lot of people have more than one student loan account. I know one of the most popular student loan companies out there is Navient. So a lot of people have Navient accounts or whatever student loan that you have. It doesn't matter. So whatever student loan that you have, if you have multiple accounts what you need to do is focus on how much you owe, because that's going to be the key. And you're going to start trying to pay down on your student loans. If you want to see the biggest impact on your credit score, you're going to want to start paying down your student loans, especially if student loans is your trouble area. This is only if student loans are your trouble area on your credit report. Now listen, the reason why student loans usually are a trouble area on people's credit report is either one, they're making late payments, or two, their debt as far as what they owe on their student loan is still too high. So you need to chop down on what you owe on your student loans in order to start seeing impacts on your credit score. And like I told people many a times on this channel over the past year, because this channel has only been around for a year, but I made multiple videos about paying on your student loans and chopping down your student loan debt during this forbearance period, because you could have decreased your student loans and the amount that you owe. You would have just been paying principal. Over these past 2 years or so, there was no interest, so you would have been chopping down the principal that you owe. And depending on how much you were paying, it would have impacted your credit score in a positive way, especially if your trouble area on your credit report is student loans. So usually with student loans, that's the main problem. People usually owe so much, and that's why it's affecting their credit score and hurting their credit score. So if you are someone and student loans is a trouble area for you, start trying to chop down on how much you owe on your student loans. And I know we're going through economic hardships right now, so that's a hard thing to do for a lot of people. But if you are able to, get extra income, save up from taking some of those trips or shopping or whatever, and just chop down on your student loans, because we may not get a bailout. We may not get a bailout with student loans where they're forgiven. So you want to be proactive with making sure that your student loan debt is chopped down, because like I said, there's a good possibility that student loan debt will not be forgiven. So you want to make sure you're on top of that. Also, I know another area for a lot of people is like they're behind on their auto loans or their home loans. The same thing apply for those loans that apply for student loans. Make sure you're making your payments on time, and make sure, if you can, I know it's a little different and much harder for a home loan and paying off your mortgage. So I don't really expect many people to be doubling up on their mortgage payments. But when it comes to car loans, and if you're financing the car loan or you have a lease or whatever you are doing when it comes to that, if you have the extra income, try to chop down and make double payments if you can on your car loan or whatever loan it is, a personal loan, because you want to get down your debt and the amount that you owe. That's the key with helping your credit score and seeing positive benefits to your credit score, is chopping down on what you owe, because that's the key thing. Your balance and what you owe and making sure you pay on time, those things are going to have an impact on your credit score. Now, let's go on to credit cards, because I know this is also a big area as to why people have a bad credit score. So credit cards, let's say you owe credit cards, or let's say you're behind on credit card payments and you're in credit card debt, because I know a lot of people often ask me, especially over the years, what should they do? Should they consolidate their credit card debt and with all their credit cards and things of that nature? And I'm always going to say, start chopping down your credit card debt. Start from the smallest amount that you owe on one credit card. Let's say you have multiple credit cards that you're behind on and you owe one. You want to start with your smallest debt. So let's say you have a Discover card and that has the smallest debt out of the other credit cards that you have. You want to pay that one down first. And then after you pay that one down, do not put yourself in more debt with that card. You want to still, spend it and use it to keep it active, but you also want to make sure that you're making payments every month. Pay your balance off in full. If you're in a financial bind right now, that means don't spend a lot of money on that card once you finally pay it down. Spend enough that you'll be able to pay off the very next month. So after you have that card settled, then you move on to the next card, which is going to be the card with the second lowest amount of debt that's owed. And you want to do the same thing for all of your cards until you finally reach the biggest one. And what this is going to do is going to help your credit score, and it's also going to help your overall utilization because you're paying your debt down that you owe. Now, once you finally do get all of your cards paid down, you want to do what I teach people to do over here at Water Your Soil. I teach my subscribers this all the time. You want to make sure you're spending, of course, to keep the card active, but you want to make sure that you're paying off your full statement balance every month for every card that you have. You know, I'm not a big fan of rolling over balances because when you tend to roll over balances, that's how you tend to forget from time to time, or you'll take money that you owe on your credit card and start allocating it elsewhere. Then next thing you know, before you notice, you are in credit card debt all over again, or initially, whatever the case may be. So you want to make sure whatever you're spending on your credit cards, you're paying it off in full the next month. This is a great way to help you and anyone avoid having credit card debt. Now, I'm talking money right now, so I know a lot of people are going through financial hardship, so it's not that easy. So what you want to do is whenever you can make payments as far as chopping down on your debt on your accounts, try to make those payments because it'll help your credit score. Now, I know some people have, bankruptcies, and some people have a lot of hard inquiries. Hard inquiries, I always say those take a little patience. You can get those removed, but there's risk in getting those removed, especially if you try to get hard inquiries removed from accounts that you currently have active, because basically what you'll be telling whoever the account owner is or the card distributor, you'll be telling them that it wasn't you who applied for that loan or that credit card or whatever it is. So there's risk involved with that. And a lot of people, when they tell you to dispute everything, they don't alarm people of the risk that comes along with disputing. You want to be very careful when you are doing these disputes, because if you dispute active accounts and accounts that are not in collections, there's a risk involved with that. I don't know if some of you know that, but having a bad credit score and a bad FICO score can be a temporary thing if you do the things that you need to do in order to get your credit score to start moving up in the positive direction. I'm going to tell you, as I tell my subscribers, and I've told anyone that I helped over the years, it's going to require some patience in order to improve your credit score. I know a lot of people see things and they want to have things happen overnight. You see those 100-point improvement credit scores that I talked about earlier in this video, and you see people credit scores improving 200 and 300 points, and you like, oh, I want that to happen. Don't try to follow that path, because that's a good way to get discouraged. It's gonna require some patience, but honestly, when you're on your credit card journey, time flies. It really does. It honestly works in your favor. I know a lot of people have gone through this, and they'll tell you as well that time flies when you are trying to improve and increase your credit score. I'm someone, I went from the 500s to the 800s. It took me 3.5 years, but I'll be honest with you, those 3.5 years didn't take forever. They went by kind of fast. And when you start seeing them improvements going from 500 to 600 to 700, and then if you want to go higher than the 700s to the 800s, you'll be like, wow, I can't believe it. It really happened. So try to get around other people who are on the same journey as you, because they'll understand. And it's going to require some discipline. It's definitely going to require discipline for you to go from bad credit to good credit. But that's with any change in life. Basically, it's going to require some hard work and some discipline. I have tons of videos on this channel to help you while you're on your journey. Check out my comment section on some of the videos as well, because some of my subscribers also extend some helpful information in the comment section as well. I always tell people, once I reach a certain amount of subscribers, I'm not going to tell you what I'm referring to until I do. But once I do reach a certain amount of subscribers, I'm going to start live streaming, because I think live streaming will be more interactive. But for now, Be sure to check out all the videos that I have on this channel related to credit. I have videos for beginners, videos regarding credit cards, all type of videos, even videos of how to apply for secured credit cards. And on top of that, I have videos on how you can graduate the secured credit card. But anyways, this is Word of Your Soil. I appreciate you all for checking me out. All right? Wait. Before you leave, be sure to check out the description box below. That way you can have all the credit resources from Word of Your Soil. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button as well, all right?